Good afternoon. It's a Wednesday and the sun is shining. I feel like I only go live when the sun's shining because it makes me feel so much better. And I don't know, my brain just works better. But um, this is mostly for me. So I hope you guys can get something out of it, but mostly it's for me to kind of work through this stuff. Let's talk tortilla chips, nuts, and popcorn. So I recently, in the last couple months, there was this, I was so over eating all of the nuts and the popcorn. And I noticed it was becoming a pattern and a habit that I didn't like. And I started thinking about, why is this happening? And I would want to eat all of this food and I couldn't stop. And when was it happening? And I had done a lot of research on habit changing and what it takes to change a pattern and what it means and whatever. And nothing was really sticking. And I had come across this rapid transformational therapy. If you guys want more question or more information about that, message me because it is awesome. And I thought I'm going to give it a try. And so a couple months ago I did it and it was freeing. And it got to why I wanted the crunchy things and why I felt like food was the answer and just to work on my habits and stuff. So anyway, you guys know my dad passed away. It's been a little over a month now. And this last month, I didn't really make the connection that I was starting to eat nuts more and popcorn more until I stopped and said, okay, what is what's going on? I was doing so great and my mind was so right. And then I realized it had been about 3 or 4 weeks, and that correlated to when my dad passed away. And so I messaged my therapist, who was in the UK, and everything we do is over Zoom, which is so cool. And I said, something's up, right? I don't know what's up. And then I said, well, my dad died. And she was like, okay, I'm guessing that's probably it. And she said, what's happening? And I was like, I'm feeling this, for me physically, when I'm anxious or angry or frustrated, or I can physically feel it right in my sternum, right at my stomach. I can just feel it. It's this tense feeling. And I was like, it's not candy bars. It's I want nuts and popcorn. I'm over tortilla chips, but that, looking back, that was a thing. But it's popcorn and nuts, guys. And all things crunchy, even celery. I want to eat a lot of the celery. And she's like, that's anger. I'm like, it is? She's like, yeah, when you want crunchy food, you need to crunch and kind of relieve that anger. And I was like, that makes so much sense. So much sense. So I started doing more research on that and talking to her and reading real articles, not, and there's so much science behind it. Crunchy things that you need to bite down on are anxiety, overwhelm, anger, frustration, because that's what you're trying to do. And it totally makes sense. And then on the other hand, it's those other feelings of loneliness, or you're sad, or you're, I don't know, missing a connection. That's that carby, creamy, rich, cheesecake, cake, mashed potatoes, peanut butter, all of those things that are rich in texture, and because you're trying to fill yourself up with what you're missing. So I want to just throw this out there for you guys. The next time you feel yourself reaching for something, always, my first suggestion is to stop. Take a breath. Take a breath and go, I wonder. Or even if you don't stop and you're looking back at your night and you're like, oh, I binged out on that. Why did I binge out on that? What was happening? Or what did I feel? Or keep a journal. Like write down, like, it's 3 o'clock, kids got off the bus, I was crazy, I was feeling anxious, and I just dug my hand into the popcorn. And then you're like, oh, like, yeah, that makes sense. So once you know why you're doing it, then you can change it. You can go, oh yeah, I get that. And make a journal. And one thing that my little British therapist in the UK says, she suggested that I do, is when I'm feeling like that, go be mad. Because what I didn't do, I hadn't let it out. I didn't let the anger out. For whatever reasons, I was angry or frustrated about my dad's death. I didn't let it out. And then it was there again. It was like there in my gut. And it was just like getting at me. And I am like all about letting things out. And because I believe that what we don't let out eats us on the inside. Physically, I've seen it. I've seen it with friends and family members that these things we hold in are eating them and they're making them physically ill. And so I'm all about letting things out, but for some reason this wasn't coming out. And once I like let it out and I cried even more, it's gone. That feeling's gone. And I'm like, oh, I'm back. I got it. So she said, it was great. She's like, when you feel like that, write it down. Just swear. Or go somewhere and swear. For me, I like to swear, so I'm just like in my bedroom, I'm like, and like still craziness after school. There's like, 5 days left, 5 after schools left. And I still get crazy when they come home. But yesterday, Carter came home and hit my buttons real fast. And I just got a piece of paper out and I just wrote down real fast and I wrote down swear words. And I think I even went into my room and I was like, oh, and I said a bunch of swear words. You guys know my favorite one. And I was like, oh, I'm done. And if you're angry towards someone that's maybe passed away already, write a letter or go talk to them in the mirror or you don't have to forgive somebody, but just get it off your chest. And if you're sad or lonely and you're scooping the peanut butter and you're eating the cake and you're going through the kids' Easter candy, stop. What's going on? Are you lonely? Are you missing a connection with somebody? Do you need a girls' night? Do you need to go hug and kiss your husband? Do you need to give your babies a big hug and kiss? Or do you miss somebody? Or, just stop and think what it is you're doing. So it was like a huge revelation for me. And I hope that it helps you guys out. Even if it stops one like binge episode of whatever it is your food of choice is to eat your feelings. But it's helped me out so much. And it's just crazy what our mind can do. And your mind helps you. It wants to help you. That subconscious ego says, I know what to do. She's stressed. She wants popcorn. It's going to make her feel better. I'm going to do it. And so thank you. Thank your brain for helping you. But we're done with that. We don't do that anymore. Thank you for helping me. But I'm a grown-up and I know how to deal with things. And yeah, so I hope that helps you guys. And if you want more information on that, my little UK therapist that I talk through Zoom, she's awesome. It's called Rapid because I don't have time for therapist because I just want things done real quick. So that's what intrigued me. So if you have questions about that, let me know. But so good. Just take it, keep a journal when you are feeling stressed, what you're eating, what your emotion was at that time. And I bet you'll see some correlation. Maybe you won't, but maybe you will. And hopefully it'll help. So that's it, guys. I hope that helped. Have a great Wednesday. And that's it.